We're back! In case you don't remember, I'm Annie Elison, and I'm Anna Eliason. Here's another conversation answering the question, what do realtors actually do? I'd like you to like and subscribe. I certainly did. Aloha, Annie. I've been thinking about you in our discussion since our last lunch, and I'm so happy that I'm able to get together with you and low-key ask you questions about real estate. Of course, low-key. What if I were to call you and tell you that I really wanted to buy a new place? What would you do? That's a great question. It really depends. Do you need to sell your home first? I'm actually not sure. Ideally, I'd like to keep it for my kids. Oh, that's completely understandable. Even though I make my living helping people buy and sell real estate, because I understand how valuable real estate is, if I can help you keep it, that's what I want to do. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we would need to determine if you can keep your home. But let's just say for this conversation, you can. Tell me about the property you'd like to buy. Well, I want something really special. Okay, tell me more. I'm looking for something with great views, ocean or mountain. I don't want to make repairs, so it also needs to be in great condition. I would like it to be something I can live in the rest of my life, so I either need the primary bedroom or some kind of master suite on the ground floor along with the kitchen. I'd like a little bit of land. I know the perfect property for you. Really? Really. Part of my job as a real estate agent is knowing the inventory. So if you have something specific that you can describe to me, something with land, or most of the houses on the ground floor, something that you could grow old in, something with a great view. Every detail that you're giving me, I'm filtering through what exists on Kauai, and I know the perfect property for you. Let's say that the perfect property for you was not currently on the market. On top of what's for sale, as a real estate agent, it's important to know what could be for sale. These are properties where maybe they're not officially on the market, but the sellers would sell under the right conditions. Oh, so kind of properties on the bubble maybe. Things that aren't on the market for sale right now. Okay, that makes sense to me. So let's say I looked at everything that was for sale and I didn't like any of them. What would we do next? What would you do if the right property wasn't for sale? That's a great question. One of the things I do is I'd start to reach out to people who own properties that fit the criteria of what you're looking for. Do you remember John and Julie? Yeah. Remember that they used to live in Princeville before they moved to Kilauea? Yes. They decided that they really wanted a property with a detached workshop. On ag land, that's usually called a barn. But they had specific requirements for this detached workshop. So I contacted all the owners in Kilauea that had a detached workshop that fit what they were looking for. I found a seller, they bought the home, and now they're living happily ever after in Kilauea. Wow. That's amazing. You were able to identify all of them and find one that was willing to sell. That's great. Yeah, it is great. And it really worked for them. Sometimes, don't be offended, but sometimes I've thought, you can see the houses online. I can get a lot of information before I ever talk to someone. And so sometimes I think it'd just be easier to work with a listing agent. Yes, a lot of people make that mistake in thinking. Make that mistake in thinking? What do you mean? Well, there's lots of reasons. But let me ask you, when you think it would just be easier to work with a listing agent, are you really thinking, if I work with a listing agent, I'll get a better deal? I mean, yeah. And why is that? Why do you think that they could get you a better deal? Well, I mean, they're going to make double the commission. They're more motivated. They would. How do you think the price was established? I mean, I guess they came up with it. Right. So the listing agent and the seller, they probably came up with it together. But the listing agent generally has a lot to say about this price. So if the listing agent came up with the price of the property, why do you think they would then give you a better deal? I guess you're right. That's what listing agents do, is they establish the selling price. Exactly. Listing agents are emotionally and contractually obligated to the seller, not to you. That means you need an agent who's going to work only in your best interest. Turn over every leaf, explore every option, look around every corner for you. Not just someone who's thinking, this is a huge deal, we just have to keep it together and move it forward. You want someone that's really doing the due diligence, that's looking after you, and that can make sure they negotiate a good deal for you. There are so many moving parts in a real estate transaction that having someone that's just looking out for your interests is priceless. Got it. That makes a lot of sense to me. I hadn't thought about how they were emotionally attached or, emotionally involved, but I can clearly see how they're contractually obligated to the seller. What other low-key questions do you have? Well, low-key, I've got a lot of questions, but I think that's it for real estate. That's it. I want you to know that I really do appreciate your time, and I appreciate this being a safe space for me to ask you questions. Sometimes the real estate process can be a mystery. So it's great that we have this relationship where I can, I feel comfortable that I can freely ask you these questions. Absolutely. I mean, you should understand what your options are. Ultimately, we're friends. So if I can help you, I want to help you. Thank you, Annie. What are you going to do for Christmas this year? I'm going to walk Hanalei Bay. I'm going to sing Bing Crosby's Mele Kalikimaka all day long. Sounds like a Mele Kalikimaka to me. Way to go! Did you like how I did low key? It's what all the kids are saying.